science is supposed to be, in my opinion, like apolitical.
It's really worrying that we may lose these crucial ingredients for monitoring Earth's climate.
What's being lost by cutting this funding is our own health.
Thank you. How detailed should I be? How?
Like a smart 7th grader.
Okay. Okay.
Sounds great.
My name is Samsara. I'm a 6-year PhD student at Weill Cornell Medicine.
My name is Dr. Andrew Williams. I'm a climate scientist at Princeton University and NOAA's Geophysical Fluid Dynamics Lab.
I'm Nick Bultice. I'm a 6th-year PhD student studying neuroscience at Columbia University.
I study cell and developmental biology.
The physics of clouds and rainfall in Earth's climate.
I study sets of cells in the brain that are responsible for learning and retrieving particular memories. Research takes time, especially research on something like models of dementia where mice need to age up in order to, start expressing symptom-like behaviors.
So the main question that I'm trying to answer is how cells make the decision to actually divide. Kind of the heart of regenerative medicine is you need more cells. Suppose if you have a cancer cell, how is this process different?
The Geophysical Fluid Dynamics Lab. It was basically the first place to do climate modeling. Actually, the only climate scientist to ever win a Nobel Prize, Syukuro Manabe, came from the lab I work at.
Receiving an NIH grant is validation of the type of work that we're doing.
I think for a grad student, especially living in New York City, that is a lot of money. And it is a big deal, yeah. I feel like that's very rare, and I'm very proud of it. Ultimately, I guess, maybe it didn't mean anything. Yeah. I can read it. Effective with this notice of award, this project is terminated. Research programs based primarily on artificial and non-scientific categories, including amorphous equity objectives, are antithetical to the scientific inquiry, do nothing to expand our knowledge of living systems, provide low returns on investment, and ultimately do not enhance health, lengthen life, or reduce illness. Worse, so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion studies are often used to support unlawful discrimination on the basis of race and other protected characteristics, which harms the health of Americans. Therefore, it is a policy of the NIH not to prioritize such research programs. Therefore, no additional funding will be awarded for this project, and all future years have been removed. Yeah, and then that goes on for a while. The research in itself is not diversity related. I did qualify as a diversity applicant, and I thought, why not? It's the exact same application as any other F-31. It just has one extra component, which is like a document saying that I qualify as a diversity applicant to receive this funding.
A lot of the information we have received sort of throughout the ordeal of grant cancellation has been news reports first and then communication from our institution. Everyone was caught, I think, pretty clearly off guard.
My best friend across the hall just knocked on my door and said, I've been fired. That's how I found out about these mass layoffs. This perception that government jobs are secure is no longer. These were people who were studying tropical cyclones, the amount of ozone in the atmosphere which protects us from the sun, things like how extreme rain will change in a warming climate. You can't have someone just come in, work on it for 6 months and then move on, because it takes years to build up the skill set. And that's something that's got people really wondering about, like, what is the future of climate modeling in this country?
I'm the first person in my family to go to college. My family doesn't live here. They all live in Nepal.
The advice that I've been given when I've talked to mentors is you should go to Europe.
The US, I think, has often been the place where a lot of folks from around the world come to do really amazing work. It's because of the funding that we've invested in sort of the science infrastructure here.
And then you start talking to other people. You're like, should we be doing something about it? Can we do anything about it? And I think ultimately everyone's just unsure.
I want to touch on the weather and climate live stream.
A few months ago, myself and my friend Jonah were just talking about how there are all these cuts going on and didn't seem to be leaking into the public kind of consciousness that this was happening and what the impacts would be. And we came up with the idea of just doing, this 100-hour live stream. And we had scientists come on one by one and talk about their work, where they got the money from, often from the federal government, what the impacts of it are, why people should care. So we've had like 25,000 calls made to representatives. We hope that that's made a big impact.
The discoveries will always be there to be made. We'll just be making them at a slower pace, which feels demoralizing, but they'll always be there waiting for us if we can return to a place of having the resources to uncover them.